Hey YouTube, what's going on? It's Mike from the Hardcover Comic, and today I wanted to talk about a few books that I think are gems that a lot of people haven't heard of or haven't given a chance and read. Um, I've picked out a handful of books that I'm going to talk about here, and let's just get let's just get started. So first off, this is one I think more people this first book, I know a lot of people have read. Well, not a lot of people, but I know will be the most read of this entire pile. But that book is Joe the Barbarian, written by Grant Morrison, art by Sean Murphy. The reason I put this book in, I mean, these are huge names, but I don't know anyone aside from Matt since I recommended it to him, and a few others that I recommended this series to that have read Joe the Barbarian, and I'm surprised at how little people have. It's an incredible series, written by, like I said, by Grant Morrison with artwork by Sean Murphy. So it's a beautiful book, beautiful to look at. It's basically the story of this boy whose name escapes me right now. Let's see if we can find it here. Joe. Of course, it's Joe. What? Wow. Late night, huh? Yes, of course. Joe, who is diabetic and basically needs to have sugar every once in a while. Otherwise, he gets hyperglycemic, and because of that, he could die. So the story bases around him, and basically the way I've been pitching it is it's Joe's journey from his room to the kitchen to get a can of pop, and that's about it. That's basically the an overview umbrella version of what happens in this story. But basically, what's happening is he's hallucinating throughout the entire story and seeing things differently from what they actually are in real life, and it makes for some great, fun, fascinating storytelling that sort of jumps between the real world and what's happening in this fantasy world he's seeing, and I don't want to spoil too much, but it's really cool. It has these cool little Morrison touches to it that make it seem even more magical than it is. And I promise you, by the end of this book, you'll get very. I mean, it takes you on some emotional bumps. This book, especially near the tail end. Wow. I still, well up at whenever I read it. I highly recommend it. There's an out of print deluxe that you can get, which is what I have here, or the trade paperback. You can still find this on Amazon, I believe. Probably a little more expensive for like a perfect copy, but I just got like a very good one, and it's actually not in the worst condition. I could reprint a dust jacket and it'll be like brand new. But that's the first recommendation. Again, I'm sure there's a good handful of you that have read this, but if you haven't, I can't recommend it highly enough. It's a fantastic read. Next up, oddly enough, a DC book. I was looking through my shelf and I didn't think I'd find one, but Dial H, of course, the deluxe edition. So this collects the New 52 series. It's got a whole group of people that wrote it. China Meevil wrote I think that's how you say his name. I don't want to mess it up, but the story is basically about this gentleman named Nelson who finds this dial, and basically every time he dials hero, he channels a hero from another universe or another dimension. And there's some really cool characters in here, like the chimney stack, and he becomes this dog with like with rockets on his back. I forget all the characters. Again, it's been a while, but you can sort of see as we flip through this all the different characters he becomes. He eventually finds a partner to fight crime with. And it's a really different book, especially for DC. And I was very surprised that this, of all titles, got a deluxe edition. Great Brian Bolland covers throughout the series. That's the character, the lady I was telling you guys about who he teams up with. I really need to reread this because it's such a fantastic series. It's such a fresh outlook on the DC universe. The artwork is incredible all the way throughout. There you got the Bristol Bloodhound. I mean, it's great. it's great. Alberto Ponticelli, who did Unknown Soldier. You've got Matteo Santaluoco, who's done a lot of the current TMNT stuff. He is amazing. But yeah, it's a really, really different series. Highly recommend you guys check it out. I'm sure you can still get the deluxe because, like I said, people have been sleeping on this book, but it will surprise you a lot. Especially, if when you consider the fact that it is a DC book. But this would be my second recommendation. If you want to try something new for the new year and you got some extra money to spend, Dial H is another book you can check out. Next up, we got an Image book. I know a lot of people grab the Image hardcovers, but I haven't heard many people talk about the complete Phonogram deluxe edition. Kieran Gillen, Jamie McKelvey, Superstar team, the dudes that are doing Wicked and the Divine right now. Sorry about that. This is a great series that focuses on music, music and sorcery. I guess not drastically different from some of the vibes Wicked and the Divine gives you, but let's give you guys a look at the book here. On the back, you just got some description, but you get 3 series in here. The first one is Rue Britannia, which was all. Oh, that's right. It's colored here. It was originally black and white, but it is colored in this edition. I don't know how I feel about that. I would have liked to have had it also in black and white, but I can't complain. The coloring is incredible. But yeah, the first story is Rue Britannia. And it basically focuses, it's sort of introducing you to the world, obviously, that these characters all live in. The amazing thing about all 3 of these minis is you see crossovers between certain characters. And they're fascinating because I like the way Gillen melded the music and magic together, and there's different kind of, I forget what they're called. Phonomancers, that's right. And it's got a very culty feeling to it. There's playlists. There's a playlist for, I believe, Singles Club on Spotify, and a custom one made for Rue Britannia. But I had a great time, especially with Singles Club. It was a fantastic time because I read the first issue of Singles Club. With the music, because basically there's 6 issues in the Singles Club. It's all about the same night of clubbing. The whole story literally is the same in all 6 issues from a different character. Every issue has a different character's point of view. So the first one starts off with this lady who's I'm really bad with names, but and throughout the story, at their while they're at this club, Penny B, that's her name. There's obviously music playing. So what songs are playing. There's that playlist on Spotify. You turn the song on as you're reading along, and you change with it, and you sort of feel in a very odd way that you're at this club. And with this first issue, it was just amazing, reading about this Penny character and finding out who she is and what she does. But by the end of it here, was it here? Yeah, it was. When Pull Shapes comes on, and you're just reading it, and the way it's written, that she's sort of talking to you, it's so well done, and I absolutely loved it. And that's basically how I enjoyed the rest of the arc, which is a really, really good arc with amazing artwork and fascinating characters. You get to explore this universe a little more. Like I said, different point of view each time, but the same overall plot for these 6 issues. Very cool idea. And very well done, again, with the pairing of the music. I'm very happy about it. And the last miniseries that you get here is Immaterial Girl. And this more so focuses on a single character. I mean, you always see recurring characters, but it mainly follows, I guess she changes her name to Emily here, but I believe she's one of the older Phonomancers. Anyway, I will say this whole book is really fascinating. I'm sort of giving away spoilers here. I'm sorry, guys, but it's a really cool book. All that needs to be said. That's right. David Cole is that gentleman's name with the glasses. David Cole. But yeah, I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of music, if you're a fan of this creative team, if you're a fan of cool ways of thinking about magic. I highly recommend this book. It is oversized. It's again like 18 issues, so you're getting a good amount of content here. I realize I'm sort of babbling about this, but next up we got Doc Unknown. This is the complete collection from Dark Horse, very recently came out. This book took me by surprise. Seriously, it was so much fun, such an incredibly fun time. It's a very quick read, but there's great story arcs in here. Doc Unknown is just such a bizarre character because he faces all these weird cults, and there's a huge inter-cult war going on with him involved in it. There's monsters. It's just super cool. You sympathize with the villains too because they give you background information on them. It's really cool stuff. I dig the artwork myself. It's not for everyone. It's definitely got that Dark Horse vibe to it though. But yeah, I had an absolutely great time reading this, and I wished so dearly that it didn't come to an end. I may reread this again just for the thrill of it. It's such a great read. I highly recommend it, guys. And it's a Dark Horse book, so it's not too expensive. $25. I don't know how many issues you get, and I don't know if they really even tell you how many issues you get, but trust me, it's well worth the price of admission. But my last book here is sort of a set of books, and I'm going to start off with the Metabarons, of course. Alejandro Jodorowsky and Jimenez, I forget his name. And I can't believe I'm forgetting Juan Jimenez. That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I can't believe I'm forgetting his name because he is a magnificent talent. But basically, Metabarons is what it sounds like. It's about this lineage of super warriors named Metabarons. And you get to see sort of their origin as they went from Castakas here to passing on the line, the lineage. And the only way that someone can become the Metabaron is by killing their father, who is the Metabaron. Or killing the Metabaron, I should say, in general. And it always happens to be patricide, where the son or daughter will have to kill their father. But yeah, it's a super brutal book, and there's great twists and turns throughout the entire thing. It's a very epic read. I believe there were 8 books in total. Each book was about 60 pages, so you get about 500 pages worth of story here, and it's very well done. The artwork is stunning. If you can find the oversized signed and numbered edition, definitely the way to go. Juan Jimenez is so good. But yeah, it's a very dense read, but a very enjoyable read. And primarily, what's happening now with it is I don't remember what year that was made, but it's fairly older book anyway. But they've recently been releasing the continuation, the Metabaron, which continues the story of the last Metabaron in the Metabarons book, and it sort of continues his journey. I was able to get the oversized editions. I think they might still be available, but this volume has Jerry Frizen's artwork, and again, it's not as good as Metabarons, but I'm still enjoying it. It's a different kind of book from Western comics or manga. It's it's European, so the pages have a slightly different format. They typically release these books in this massive size first as well, which is great. But it's a great way to sort of explore outside your boundaries, which I mean is what, it's the new year, try something new and different. And I can't recommend this enough, guys. I just realized it's a 14-minute video. I've been rambling on and on and on. And I probably could keep rambling on and on and on about all these series because I enjoy them a lot. And they're very different from, what you'll be reading most of the time. Oh, jeez. Oh boy, yes, these are mature books. These European comics, yeah, they're for mature readers, no doubt. Um, but I love it. Part three is on its way. I think it's Jerry Frizen once again. I thought initially it was supposed to be, I think Esad Ribic who was supposed to do it. He's obviously busy with Marvel stuff and whatnot, so Jerry Frizen is doing book three again, unless I'm wrong. I think Mukesh Singh was supposed to do a book as well. I don't know if that's going to happen. He's amazing, though. I would have loved to have seen that. But that's the pile, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know if you have read these or if you're going to check any of them out based on my recommendation. If you have any more questions, let me know. Um, I can answer more in depth again. I could talk about these books for hours. But anyway, thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. Hopefully, these books will be read by fresh new eyes. And if you have any recommendations, please leave them below. I'm always happy to read something completely out of the box. But thanks for tuning in, guys. This was Mike from the Hardcover Comic. And until next time, you stay classy, Internet.